What's up, agents? You know, they say every weapon tells a story, but this one speaks in thunder. The Sleipnir isn't just another light machine gun. It's a powerhouse engineered for those who don't take cover. They own the battlefield. This gun was named after Odin's legendary 8-legged steed. This gun was built to charge through chaos, unstoppable, untamed, and unforgiving. What makes Sleipnir truly dangerous is its talent. The talent is called Perfect Frenzy. Basically, every time you reload, it feeds your fury. For every 10 bullets you fire before that reload, Sleipnir grants you a stacking rate of fire and weapon damage boost, turning every magazine into a countdown to destruction. The longer you fight, the faster and deadlier you become. It's not just about pulling the trigger, it's about controlling the rhythm, mastering the frenzy. When that talent kicks in, you don't feel like an agent anymore. You feel like a walking force of nature. So today I'm going to break down how to turn the Sleipnir into a monster build. The kind that melts elites, controls crowds, and keeps your damage peaking at every reload. If you're tired of blending in with basic builds, this is your call to arm, agents. I'm Dwerewolf Gaming, and it's time to unleash the beast. Let's get into it. Alright, agents, so first thing I want to do is let's look at the talent. You know, I did mention the talent, Perfect Frenzy. And basically, if you're new or you're unfamiliar with that talent, the Perfect Frenzy talent, basically reloading grants 3% increase in weapon damage and 3% increase in rate of fire for every 10 bullets. So keep that in mind, it states every 10 bullets. So if we break this down in intervals, basically, agents, for every 100 bullets, you'll divide it by 10, that's basically 10 intervals. Each interval gives you 3% increase in weapon damage and 3% increase in rate of fire. So if we multiply that, basically, guys, that is overall, that means for 5 seconds after you reload your gun, you will be hitting 30% harder with a 30% increase in rate of fire. This is a deadly combo for any type of gameplay within Division 2. Alright, so I just been wanting to break that down. One other thing I do want to point out, guys, is that in this build today, we will also be utilizing the new Overdog exotic gloves. And if you're new to this game or you haven't leveled up on your seasonal journey, right now is the time to level up your seasonal journey, because there is an XP event currently taking place in Division 2 that will help you get up, level up on your seasonal journey a lot faster. To obtain these gloves, the Overdog gloves, you must be make it to at least level 29. There is a new exotic rifle as well called the Shroud Marksman Rifle, actually, that you will obtain when you make it to level 69. The Shroud Marksman Rifle amplifies weapon damage by 100% to the highest ranking enemy in combat, according to the tier hierarchy. The gloves are opposite. It basically amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemy while you're in combat, according to the tier hierarchy. So basically, when you're looking at it, guys, the tier 3 will be amplified weapon damage by 30% according to the exotic gloves. Tier 1 will be 120% amplified weapon damage whenever you're using the Shroud Marksman Rifle. Now, amplified damage. Let me tell you why amplified damage is so special in Division 2. Alright, most of the bonuses in Division 2 give you weapon damage, such as, for example, 15% or 10% damage to target under cover. Those types of damage are all additive, meaning they stack together in one big pool. And basically, you're just adding them up. But amplified damage is different. It multiplies your total damage after all the other bonuses are added up. That's why amplified damage is considered one of the most powerful types of damage in this game right now. So basically, after you got all your additives all added up together, then comes in the amplified damage. With that being said, agents, I do want to give a big thank you to everyone that continues to support me on my channel, especially those who always have something positive to say. I do appreciate each and every one of you for your valued time and continued support.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Let's go over this build breakdown today. Alright, so the star of the show is the Sleipnir LMG machine gun. Overall, this is an amazing machine gun, guys, that has been basically sitting in my inventory for a while. Just overall, just amazing gun though, and we will go how you can obtain this weapon as well. The total, as far as the core stats, I do have a total damage of 141.24k with RPM 800, with 100 in the magazine. Headshot damage 85% with optimal range being 35. Keep in mind, I do only have a weapon XT, so 20% on this gun, so we got room to improve that more. The core attributes are fully maxed out with 12% damage to target out of cover and 6% damage to armor. As far as weapon handling, it is pretty bad on this gun. Accuracy is very poor. Stability is okay. Reload time is pretty slow. Alright, the talent, it is what truly stands out on this gun. Basically, for every 8 bullets in the magazine capacity, you gain 3% increased rate of fire and 3% increase in weapon damage. So let's just put it like this. Let's make this very easy. Basically, for every 100 magazine, you're going to be in 30% increase in weapon damage and 30% increase in rate of fire. Just amazing. One thing I do want to point out, agents, is do not reload the gun. Let the magazine run out and let it automatically reload. The mods I do have is 25% critical hit chance and 50% plus 50 additional rounds. For the secondary weapon, we did go with the Pestilence LMG. Just really enjoy this LMG, guys. Overall, this gun can be formed in any targeted loot location that has LMGs for the targeted loot. Of course, the higher level of difficulty you do it on, the greater chance you can obtain it. I do currently have a weapon expertise of 30%, and it is fully maxed out as well. The talent is what truly stands out. It's called Plague of the Outcast. Hit supply debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, 100% of the stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. The mods that come in this gun are 10% increased rate of fire, 10% stability, and 10% accuracy. Keep in mind, you cannot change the mods. If you are ever building into using this weapon, guys, just remember that the damage with this weapon, the Plague of the Outcast, scales with weapon damage, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, so we did decide to wear one piece of the Petrov's defense set, which gives us 10% increase in LMG damage. For the core attribute, we did have a weapon damage core, and everything in this build, agents, we will be going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage as far as the attributes. So as you can see, I do have two 12% critical hit damage attributes and a 6% critical hit chance. So we did decide to wear the 3-piece of the Lingmo set, which gives us 20% increase in explosive resistance, 20% increase in skill health, and 30% increase in LMG damage. Keep in mind, we were only focusing on that 30% increase in LMG damage. The core attribute, we do have an armor core, and again, the attributes were either critical hit chance or critical hit damage. The talent that I decided to use in this build was Glass Cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 25%, but all damage you take is amplified by 50%, so keep that in mind. You will take 50% increase in amplified damage. But if you don't want to use this talent, I do have two other talents that I do recommend on this build. One being the Unbreakable talent. That talent will be leaning towards more survivability, but overall it's an amazing talent. Basically, whenever your armor is depleted, you repair 95% of your armor. This does have a cooldown of 60 seconds. Another option that would work great in this build is the Builder Rate talent. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. This stacks up to 20 times, so basically get to 20 stacks, that is 20% increase in weapon damage, but those hits have to register as critical hits. So there are two other options that you can use if you don't want to use the Glass Cannon talent. Alright guys, for the holster, it is the second piece of the Lingmo set. And for the core attribute, we do have a weapon damage core, and again, the attributes is going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So we did go with the name Fox Prayers knee pads, and these are the name version of the Overlord armament set, which gives us 10% increase in rifle damage, but we're not worrying about that. The core attribute is the weapon damage. We do have weapon damage, and the attribute that comes automatic on these knee pads are 8% damage to target out of cover. We do also have a 6% critical hit chance attribute in it as well. Alright, the gloves, we went over what amplified damage does earlier, and this is why I wanted to go over that. The overall gloves are amazing. You can obtain this at level 29 on the seasonal track right now. It comes automatic weapon damage and the attributes critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent is called Weakest Link. Basically amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemy while you are in combat according to the tier hierarchy. So as you take a look at this build, we're getting amplified damage from the chest, and we're also getting amplified damage from the gloves. Alright, for the third piece of the Lingmo set, we did go with the backbone, which is the name backpack for this set. For the core attribute, we did have a armor core, and again, the attributes we were going for critical hit chance or critical hit damage. For the talent, it is just what truly stands out on this backpack. It's called Perfectly Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 7% for 15 seconds. This stacks up to 5 times. So basically, when you get up to all 5 stacks, that is 35% increase in weapon damage. Keep in mind, agents, each kill does refresh this talent, so you can maintain those stacks for a good little bit with that 35% increase in weapon damage. Now, if you don't have the perfect version, guys, just use whatever backpack you prefer, and you can roll the talent Unstoppable Force. And basically, when you get up the all stacks with the regular version, you get up to 25% increase in weapon damage instead of the 35. All right, as far as the skills, we did have a Revival High because this build is pretty squishy, and we did have the Fortified Smart Cover on as well. The mods I do currently have on it is a Duration and a Bonus Armor mod. As you can see in my gameplay, guys, no seasonal modifiers are used or global modifiers either. Let's take a look at the weapon stats. Total weapon damage with this gun with the Sleipnir is 141,238. Critical hit chance was 60% with 129% critical hit damage. 85% headshot damage with 6% damage to armor as well. All right, if you look at all weapon damage bonus, we do have 90%. Just make sure you do have the 15% the correct element selected so you get your 15% increase in LMG damage. As you can see, we do have currently 70% on that. And if you take a look at our armor on this build, guys, this build is very squishy, so you do want to remain in cover. But we're sitting right there at 1,108,704 with 110,870 armor back on the kill. We do have 0 armor regeneration with a little bit of help regeneration at 1,815. Very squishy build, so you do want to remain in cover with this build. It's one reason why we did use the smart cover system to provide us with a little bit of bonus armor. So the class specialization. First, if you're new and you do want to obtain this weapon, you have to complete the requirements under the gun of specialization, and it is right there, stage 4, I believe, where you will be able to obtain this weapon. The Sleipnir, like I said, so you have to complete all the way up to stage 4, complete all the tasks within stage 4 under the gun of specialization, and you will be able to obtain this weapon. But the gun of specialization, every third reload is 50% faster, which is great for LMGs. Armor kits repair 100% armor and grants 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every kill, guys, grants 10% armor back on the kill. And this is the class specialization where you will have access to the Banshee Pulse. The Banshee Pulse basically disorients those enemies, and it also penetrates through cover as well. All right, you generate 10% of your ammo capacity every 60 seconds, and party members will recover 5% of that. Also, the rate of fire is increased on your weapon by 5% on kills for 5 seconds. Another fact that I want to point out is you will have 10% increase in weapon handling while not moving. So basically you need to be motionless for at least 1 second. Last but not least is do not forget to equip the correct weapon element to get your 15% increase in whatever weapon you're using damage. Alright, agents, so let me give you a little demonstration at the gun range of how much damage you can get. One thing I do want to point out again, agents, is do not reload the weapon. I do have a habit of reloading early, especially in gameplay, but certain weapons, they get the benefit of that perk when you're not reloading. So basically, you want to fire the gun, let the magazine run out, and that's when the talent will proc. You will see I will continue to fire until the magazine runs out. Then the gun will reload, and I will proc the talent. Overall, just amazing. And agents, I do want to point out, there was a new gear set that just came out, the tipping scales gear set. That works great with LMGs. I will also give you a demonstration of that particular set. As far as the mask, we kept the mask the same. The only thing we're going to change is the chest piece, and basically when you have on all 4 pieces, you get the throttle control. But let me go over. 2 pieces gives you 30% increase in magazine size, 3 pieces gives you 30% increase in LMG damage. When you have all 4 pieces, again, you get throttle control. Basically, shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Each stack provides plus 5% increase in weapon handling and plus 4% increase in critical hit damage. You lose 6 stacks per second when you're not shooting. No stacks are lost when your enemy is suppressed, though, and you can suppress it very easily with LMGs. The core attribute I do have on this chest piece is the armor core, and the attributes again, we're going for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. The talent on this chest piece is called sustainability. You increase the maximum number of those stacks from 50 to 75, so that is the longer duration of having those stacks. Alright, so the second piece we did have on was the holster, and as you can see, the core attribute, we did have weapon damage core with critical hit chance. For the knee pads, we did have a weapon damage core with 12% critical hit damage. And for the gloves, it stayed the same. And basically the overdog gloves. And for the backpack, guys, for the core attribute, we did have armor core and the attributes again with critical hit chance or critical hit damage. The talent is what truly stands out on the backpack. It is called Snowball. This increases critical hit damage received per stack from 4 to 7. So ultimately, this gear set is designed to help boost your critical hit damage as long as you can maintain those stacks. I will give you a little bit of demonstration of how much damage you can get in this as well. If you take a look at our critical hit chance, 56%, critical hit damage 105, but keep in mind as we build up the stacks, the critical hit damage will go up. Headshot damage stayed the same overall, and we still kept the same amount of armor on this build as well. Like I said, guys, both of these builds perform very well in the gameplay. We did not use any modifiers, global or seasonal modifiers whatsoever. So both versions of these builds work very well. Here's a little demonstration in the range just to show you how this gear set works with the Sleipnir LMG. Alright, agents, so with this gear set compared to the other set that we were using, this one you have to build up the stacks to be able to get the benefits of the most amount of damage you can do with this particular set. As you can see, the damage numbers are pretty similar, but whenever you do hit your full stacks with the tipping scales, you will be doing a lot more damage versus the other gear set using the Lango set. Overall, both builds are very fun to use. One, you get most of your damage up first, versus this set right here requires you to build up those stacks and maintain those stacks to be able to take full advantage of getting of the damage potential of these builds. Keep in mind, one build you will take a little bit more damage if you do decide to use the amplified, the glass cannon talent, versus this set here. You won't take as much damage, but you will do more damage in the long run. Ultimately, it's whatever works best for you and your gameplay. Alright, agents, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you for your valuable time and continued support. If you like the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate each and every one of you for your valuable time. Alright, Dwerewolf out.
That should take you to the mall. Wilson is still by the entrance. We spotted a mortar team with him. These are probably the fuckers who tagged the castle.
Hostile forces incoming. DC-62 toxic detected. Contamination level lethal.
What the hell? These readings are insane. They must have a lab nearby for weaponizing this shit. Make sure you put it out of operation. team to dismantle the rest of that crap.
Search party. Check it out. You're in trouble now! We got a man down!
Don't let Wilson get away.
No more contacts. Great work. Wilson's unit is out of action, and you've crippled True Sun's chemical warfare efforts. Also, Council just reported in to confirm the survival.